What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Now, today on the table in front of us, we have got a new CJRB. This is the Barranca, and this is a really interesting, budget-friendly D2 and G10 knife. CJRB has continued to make what I think are pretty much the best budget knives on the market right now. Some people would argue that Civivi does that, but these are less money, and you get very similar materials and certainly an equal or equitable build quality to my eye and my hand. And the Barranca in particular is a really good and interesting knife. You get this marvelous blade shape, which is kind of a, I don't know what you'd call that, reverse tanto. Who cares? It's got just enough belly to be really useful. It's got a nice tip on it up here that makes it really fun and easy to use. The shape of this handle is the only place that I hang up a little bit. It is a little tight for me in the grip. As you can see, my pinky is pushing up against this nub, but for normal-sized hands, I think this thing would be absolutely spectacular. It has milling on the G10, which means that it is shaped so that it is comfortable to hold, and it's got a beautiful thumb ramp right here, which means you can get right up on it for push cuts. I've really enjoyed having this thing around. Now, this one is a prototype, but they are available on the CJRB website right now. If you're interested in such a thing, I think you would be. This is, well, it's just very good. It has a G10 backspacer with a built-in lanyard hole, which is very nice. It has the stamped steel CJRB pocket clip, as you can see here. These do a really good job. It has good ramp, good spring, and lots of room. It's just a really nice knife. I really love this blade shape. I do. I have a few of the prototypes here, and this is the one I decided to do first because I just really like the way it looks. Ooh, lots of hand gestures today. I don't know why. It rides the pocket very well. It closes beautifully. It's just got this really great shape to it overall. This is a good user design. It's not so stabby. This is not your gas station knife fight night, of course. But it is, for a working knife, very, very good. Let's put it up against some old friends. Here is the Rat Model 1. And as you can see, it is more cutting area. Oh, excuse me. I had something caught in my throat. It is more cutting area, but a little less handle. Here it is against the Rat Model 2. And of course, it's just a much bigger knife than that. You know, D2 and G10. I love that combination because of how good it is. D2 is great steel, and CJRB does a great job with their D2. I'm a little bit, as I've said many times, past that at this point in my collection. But because CJRB continues to make such interesting looking knives, I have a hard time keeping them out of the collection. This is a funky and cool design from the ground up. I love it. I think you will too. I think this is a little more sized for women carry knives. I think she's really going to enjoy this. But here's the thing. Even though it is a little tight in the grip for me, as you can see, it's a little close. Because of the way this is rounded, when I squeeze into it, there's no... Look, this is a great grip. I have used this for push cuts and draw cuts. It is not really, as I said, a good pokey tip for stab cuts, but because of the way this is designed, it opens packages like nobody's business. Let's take a look at the overall specs, shall we? You get 1, 2, 3.5 inches of cutting surface on just slightly over 3.5 inches of D2. Let's take a look at the blade stock here. This is just slightly over 3 millimeters of D2, which is really very nice. Through the handle at its thickest point, you are just over 1/2 inch, which again is really, really good. That seems to be my sweet spot. Yep, just over 1/2 inch, which is really nice. It is not milled. On the liners are not milled, which means it's a little heavy. I don't have my scale with me today, but you know, as these things go, it is a little bit heavy. I recently got this, which is the Tuya Cebu, which is a very competitive knife in overall size and, you know, and materials. But the Cebu is, you know, 90 bucks, where the CJRB is 50 or 45 or something like that. They're really very reasonably priced. I think that CJRB is just dominating this particular segment of the market, and this is another example of that. It does have ceramic bearings. It has a ceramic detent ball as well. The action on this thing is really, really very good. I don't know if I can shake it out. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, I can if I do it upside down, which means the detent's probably, on a scale of 1 to 10, probably a 5. Can I do it this way? Yeah, no. So just a basic shake won't cut it loose. The flipper works beautifully. You know, it's a flipper. It's supposed to work. But when one works really well, we should point it out, and this one does. I will say that the flipper tab on this thing is a really interesting design. It's just this sort of knob. It has some jimping up here. That is the only jimping on the knife. I would love it if it had a little bit here at the thumb ramp. But because of the ramp, I don't think you're that at risk of having your thumb slide forward when you don't want it to. And this does create a really good stop for your hand if you were to be cutting something and hit something hard. You're not going to slide forward, which is really very nice. The texturing allows for good grip. And again, that action is just really very good. I think, again, this is another one of those CJRB knives that shows that they're serious about dominating the segment of the market, and they're kind of doing it. It's very, very good. It really is. This is going to be kind of a short review. You know, there's just not that much to say, except if you like this blade shape and this handle shape, then you should definitely chase one of these down. Oh, let's talk about this real quick. They have done, again, CJRB is really good at this. The spacing between the show side and the lock bar side of the scales allows for really good access. There's no jimping on the lock bar, but you hit it every time. I mean, it doesn't take much energy and much effort. You are running at just about 40% lockup, which is really very good for a knife like this. It means the blade's not going to go anywhere on you. I love this thing, but I tend to love CJRB knives. You know, I came up in the knife world at a time when budget knives were sort of this thing. Watch this. Ready? Yep, that's what you get. This is an old Smith & Wesson gas station level knife that somebody picked up somewhere. It says first production run, which means somebody thinks this is a collector's piece. I don't know. It is hammer forged bullseye china, whatever that means. You know, this was probably 20 bucks, 25 bucks when it came out. This is a raging hunk of junk. This, come forward probably 10 years, 5 years, something like that. This is what budget means now, and I got to tell you, it's very good. If you enjoy this kind of knife, you're going to enjoy this knife. That, I think, is my final answer on this. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know I've enjoyed having it. I have a couple of other CJRB prototypes that we'll be doing here on the channel down the road a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. This, again, has been the CJRB Barranca. It is model J1909C, if that is something that's interesting to you. It is D2, running on ceramic bearings. It is G10 and steel liners. It's just a great knife. Straightforward, simple, and excellent. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like the video on the way out, I'd really appreciate it. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. We'll see you next time.